Continuing with the poem by John Norris. Poor dull mistake of low mortality to call that madness which is ecstasy. 'Tis no disorder of the brain, his soul is only set ten higher strain. Outsoar he does the sphere of common sense, raised to diviner excellence. But when at highest pitch his soul outflies, not reason's bound, but those of vulgar eyes. So when the music Sibyl's sacred breast was with divine infusions possessed, 'twas rage and madness thought to be, which was all oracle and mystery. And so the soul, that's shortly to commence, a spirit free from dregs of sense, is thought to rave when she discourses high and breathes the lofty strains of immortality. Music, thou generous ferment. Now they're fermenting. That ferment of the soul. Music is just ferment. Music, thou generous ferment of the soul, thou universal cement of the whole, thou spring of passion that dost inspire religious ardors and poetic fire. Who'd think that madness should prescribe to thee that mighty discord to thy harmony? But 'twas such ignorance that culls the gift divine of various tongues, rage, and the effects of wine. You think it's just like the effect of wine. But thou, seraphic soul, do thou advance in thy sweet ecstasy, thy pleasing trance. Let thy brisk passions mount still higher, till they join to the element of fire.
So actually it is.
This one's really on fire.
Now the music in meditation is called the wine. The wine.
It's really on fire here, dear.
And also for some of the music of that too sentimental music, it can really disturb somebody as much as wine does.
You think we'll find a poet we like here? Soar higher yet.
Like a lot of them. Most
Soar.
of them I like them.
Soar higher yet, till thou shalt calmly hear. Now he's telling you to calmly hear the music of a well-tuned sphere. Then on the lumpish mass look down, and thou shalt know the madness of the world for groveling still below. He thinks you can soar above the world in a sense. I'll do analysis. We read the poem and then do analysis. That's the way to do it, I think. We shall not consider the argument in detail here, but only pause to admire the nicety of, nor is it proper to say that we hear music, to observe that this argument in slightly different versions still remains a circulation. Of more importance at this point is the comparison of a musical poem of the same writers with one of Stradi's quoted above. Norris's piece hews rather strictly to the doctrines of his own philosophical position rather than indulging in a gossipy recapitulation of scraps of lore like Stradi. But Norris's poem represents Augustan exposition rather than metaphysical organization as a norm, with the result that some of the metaphors in the argument take on the aspect of ineptly overdone metaphysical conceits. The end of the first Stradi is notable in this regard. In general, the tone of on a musician supposed to be mad with music. The tone of on a musician supposed to be mad with music is almost Cowlerian. Here he's supposed to be mad with music. Is he supposed to be mad? Is he or isn't he? We're going to read the poem of Norris. Poor dull mistake of low mortality to call that madness, which is ecstasy. 'Tis now disorder of the brain. It's not a disorder. His soul is only set one higher strain. Outsoar he does the sphere of common sense, raised to diviner excellence, but when at highest pitch, his soul outflies, not reason's bounds, but those of vulgar eyes. So when the mystic Sibyl's sacred breast was with divine infusions possessed, 'twas rage and madness thought to be, which was all oracle and mystery, and so the soul that shortly to commence, a spirit free from drugs of sense, is thought to rave when she discourses high and breathes the lofty strains of immortality. Music, thou generous ferment of the soul, thou universal cement of the whole, thou spring of passion that dost inspire religious ardors and poetic fire, who'd think that madness should be ascribed to thee, that mighty discord to thy harmony? But 'tis such ignorance that calleth the gift divine of various tongues rage and the effects of wine. But thou, seraphic soul, do thou advance in thy sweet ecstasy, thy pleasing trance, let thy brisk passions mount still higher, till they join to the element of fire. Soar higher, till thou shalt calmly hear the music of a well-tuned sphere. You're supposed to do it calmly. Shall calmly hear. Then on the lumpish mass look down, and thou shalt know the madness of the world, for groveling still below. You think if you look down from having listened to the music of the spheres, you'll see the madness of the world below?
Don't we do that when we listen to
I suppose.
Hamilton?
But is that like fermenting yourself when you listen to music of the spheres? Fermenting.
It depends how they use that. Fermentation as a
Fermentation.
transformation, you see. When you ferment the yogurt, the liquid becomes yogurt.
The Augustan tone has not completely triumphed here over the unassimilated images and turns of diction and allusion to earlier styles, but the tone is didactic and proper enough to allow a spirit free from drugs of sense to seem far-fetched and almost too easy. Do they call it like easy yoga, like when they say sehaj? Sehaj yoga. Easy yoga. It's too easy in a way.
There is some easiness to some of the yoga. It should be easy. Actually, for some people who are advanced, it's still easy for them.
Either Stradi's little poem, nor this considerably more ambitious effort deals with solemn music, solemn. But in the first case, the interest of the poetic style itself, and in order the demands of the Neoplatonist psychology, both result in a treatment of some of the material of musica humana. But Norris was historically speaking, a kind of sport. What is he, a sport? He's a typical poet. He's like into sports. And the fact of his poem can be taken as no evidence for the continuation of a tradition. We have observed earlier in this chapter that Puritan writers, the Puritans are no fun at all. They have no fun. Writers were, by and large, uninterested in musica speculativa. The fact remains, however, that two poets strongly committed to the Commonwealth both used speculative musical material at considerable length. Milton's use of musical imagery and allusion, of course, is both more profound and more broad Then Andrew marvels somewhat rare instances of them, but
Was Puritan Milton.
not really. In each case, there is a very considerable poem to be dealt with Marvel's music's empire. Here we have the empire of music. Music's empire. Maybe we should read Marvel's Music's Empire, while not primarily devoted to religious music, is particularly interesting as a prophetic allegorization and encomium of the role of the Commonwealth in the cosmos, as well as in the body politic. What is the body politic? Milton's Add Solemn Music. On the other hand, recapitulates so many of the themes that we have been examining in this and previous chapters that it had best be considered after Marvels. Seems we have to consider Marvel at Milton's Marvel at Milton's Add Solemn Music, and the Empire of the Ear. Next reading will be Marvel at the Empire of the Ear. We had just read a poem where we fermented our souls with it. We read from John Norris on a musician supposed to be mad with music. So we went mad reading this book, The Untuning of the Sky. We read Norris, we're gonna read Marvel, and we can read Milton after that. And we read Shakespeare, and we read a number of other poets, because we're reading all the English poets and what they have to say about music, including the speculative abstract music of the spheres, including harmony of the soul and the harmony in the soul, and if there is harmony in the soul, and if there is abstract music that can affect the soul, and how essential, typical, everyday music affects the soul, and if the everyday music is a reminder of the harmony within the soul, etc., etc., etc.